G'day guys, my name's 3Jad21 and welcome back to another Rogue Company video. This one's going to be a little different because I'm not actually playing in this video. As you can see, I'm on the Rogue menu. Today I wanted to talk about Rogue changes that I want. I want to talk about, because I mean, in case you couldn't tell from my YouTube channel, I'm very passionate about this game. As you can see, also from this Rogue menu, I've spent a lot of time playing it. I've spent a lot of time playing every character. And the new Covert Ops changes, as well as some of the changes that have happened in the most recent update, Rogues Rising, have raised a lot of questions for me in terms of how the devs want these characters to be played and just the overall identities of them. So basically I wanted to go through the rogues that I think should be adjusted, balanced, or just tweaked to better fit their character, because I think it's silly to have a game where characters are established for these rogues and then they make decisions with their perk sets or some of the things they have that just don't really correlate, I guess. You'll kind of get what I mean as I go through these, but anyway, I'm going to go through each rogue one by one. Well, not each rogue, but like the rogues that I want changes for. And like I've put a lot of posts on Reddit about like the rogue changes that I would want, but I feel like I can articulate myself better if I actually do it through a video as opposed to like just a written post. So I'm going to go through all the rogues that I think need a change and just kind of explain why. So first of all, let's look at Anvil. Yeah, Anvil's as we all know, Anvil's pretty good. Now that he is by far the bulkiest character in the game, a lot more people have been paying attention to Anvil. What I don't like about Anvil is that they've set up Anvil and Cannon to be like polar opposites of each other in a way, in terms of what they have. And I get that they want characters to feel unique, but I feel like you can retain some like mutual perks and still have them play differently. So I would change Anvil by, first of all, swapping Lifeline and Helping Hand from Cannon through Anvil, because in terms of personality, Anvil's pretty cold-blooded. Like he's a veteran. He is a hardened, experienced combatant. He knows when to do things and how to achieve victory, right? So you could argue that that's why he has Lifeline. He knows when to res people, and obviously he only gets rare Lifeline because they don't want him to feel like a medic. I can understand that, but I think personality-wise, and also because of the cost of the perk, I think it would make more sense for Anvil to have Helping Hand, because that way he gets the perk cheaper, which means he can buy it earlier, which means he can revive people slightly faster earlier, which makes him a more effective medic in a way. And I also just think Anvil being the cold-blooded and Cannon being a bit more woman-friendly, I think it makes more sense then for Cannon to be the one with Lifeline, because then it's like, he cares about people. He's a very friendly guy. He wants people, when he revives people, you get the sense that he wants them to feel comfortable or just be ready to get back in the fight because of Cannon's energy, right? So I don't know, personally I'd swap Lifeline and Helping Hand between Anvil and Cannon just to fit their personalities a bit more. What else? Replenish. Yeah, Replenish has no place on Anvil, I'm sorry. Anvil used to have Shredder rounds, and I think that fit him way better because Shredder rounds gives you more ammo to reload from, as opposed to Replenish, which gives you essentially infinite ammo as long as you are finishing or downing people. And I think Anvil, as like the bulky, big veteran of the group, I think it makes more sense for him to have more ammo to reload from and be able to reload from it quickly rather than have Replenish. I know Cannon has Shredder rounds, but I feel like this is one of those chances where you can give them the same perk, but they don't exactly feel the same. So I would get rid of Berserker and give him rare shredder rounds, like Cannon does. And obviously, you know, you might be thinking when I say that, didn't you just say you wanted to reload quickly? Why did you get rid of Berserker? Well, because I'd replace Replenish with Quick Hands. And Quick Hands is a combination of Berserker and Epic Nimble Hands. So you can swap between your guns faster, you reload your guns 30% faster, and you can do it while sprinting. So I think giving Anvil Shredder rounds, aka more ammo to reload from, and being able to reload from it while running, and doing it faster, I think suits Anvil a bit better in terms of who he is. I don't know, I just think that's a quality of life change more than a nerf or a rebalance, because it makes more sense to Anvil in my opinion. Actually, yeah, Gunsmith as well. I don't think a bulky character like Anvil should have Gunsmith, because he can buy a 3-shot Arbitrator right off the bat, and I understand that it's only rare Gunsmith, so it's only fall off ranges by 20%, but you need to understand that, like, Gunsmith on shotguns is a lot more noticeable than you might think. The effective ranges buffs that you get from Gunsmith are actually pretty crazy. So I personally think Anvil shouldn't have Gunsmith, considering how bulky he is. So I would take Gunsmith off him and give him Rare Blaster instead. And I think that suits him a bit better because, again, he's an experienced veteran. He knows the ins and outs of fighting, right? I think he should have Rare Blaster because I think his C4 should feel a bit more powerful. Not too powerful, obviously. It'd only be Rare Blaster, so his C4 would go from doing 100 base, 150 fully upgraded, to doing 110 base, 165 fully upgraded. So it's not that significant of a damage buff. And also, if you think about Tenacity reduces explosive damage more than Blaster increases, because as you can see here, Epic Tenacity reduces it by 40%, whereas Legendary Blaster increases by 30%. So Tenacity overall is far superior to Blaster in terms of increasing explosive damage, or increasing or decreasing, if you get what I mean. So I really don't think him having Rare Blaster is actually that ridiculous. I just think it fits Anvil a bit better. Also, Anvil doesn't have resupply, so you don't have to worry about him having a more powerful C4 and him being able to get it back without having to respawn first. And I think that makes him that kind of makes him feel a bit more comfortable having that stronger C4. So yeah, basically all three of his rare perks should change. I think you should have Shredder Rounds, Blaster, and Helping Hand instead of Berserker, Gunsmith, Lifeline. And then Replenish should be replaced with Quick Hands. And then with Cannon, it's just give him Lifeline instead of Helping Hand. And then I think you've got two characters that feel similar, but not too similar, because, I mean, Cannon is much faster than Anvil, because he has 2 speed, and he's got that evade, which is really helpful. Energize plays into his minigun, and then while Cannon has Legendary Assassin, Legendary Life Drain, Epic Bulletproof, Epic Armor, Anvil has those perks swapped. So, I don't know, I think Anvil and Cannon, in terms of those 4 perks, have enough differences. Oh my god, cat, I'm trying to do a video here, man. Anyway. So yeah, that's how I would... Okay, do I actually have to turn on Do Not Disturb? This is getting insane. Yep. Okay. So, as I was saying, sorry about those interruptions there. Yeah, that's how I change Anvil, and, in a way, Cannon. I'm not really changing Cannon all that much. Chaac, I feel like he's in a pretty good spot. Some people think he should have Helping Hand instead of... Oh my god, okay, hang on, I'll be back. Okay, I'm back. I'm sorry about that interruption. As I was saying, there are some people who would rather that Chaac have Helping Hand so that he can speed up his revive. But, I don't know, I feel like Chaac is good the way he is, because they've now, with his speed and toughness, they've really started pushing that Chaac should be a like a tough rusher type. When he uses his stim and he's not downed, he gets that 75 extra health that slowly ticks down, and he's got 5 toughness and legendary tenacity and epic life drain. So, and it also has legendary energize, so he can use his ability more frequently. So I think they've really pushed Chaac to be more of this guy who goes in, stims himself, and just annihilates people, as opposed to he can do that, but he can also get himself up really quickly after he gets downed. So yeah, I mean, I'm kind of indifferent to that idea. It would feel good on Chaac, no doubt about it, because that's how he used to be. But I don't know, I don't feel like it's necessary, because I think the way they've tuned Chaac, he still feels really satisfying to use. So I wouldn't personally change Chaac. Dahlia, on the other hand, oh boy, okay. So I'm going to need to explain this a little bit, because there are still some people that don't understand how Dahlia's speed and toughness stats work within this game. So, she has 3 speed and 3 toughness. Now, when we go into the nitty-gritty details of that, which is the percentage increases that those little notches mean, it means that she has plus 3% speed and plus 3% toughness on what she used to have. Now, you need to keep that plus 3% in mind, because that's how this all works. When Dahlia links with a character, she takes their stat total of speed and toughness and adds her extra 3% on top. So, let's say she links with Chaac, for example. So she takes his stats, 2 speed, 5 toughness, and then adds 1 notch to both of those stats, because her stat total is a net positive plus 3% on each side. So she essentially becomes the equivalent of 3 speed and 6 toughness. So essentially, whenever Dahlia links with someone, she takes their stats and makes them better. And let's say she does link with Chaac, right? So she's a 3 speed, 6 toughness. When you look at her perks, that's a bit of a problem, because she has epic tenacity and legendary bounce back. It's even more of a problem if she links with Mac, because if she links with Mac, she becomes a 3 speed, 5 toughness. So she becomes a 3 speed, 5 toughness with epic tenacity, legendary bounce back, and the ability to repair 25 armor. So Dahlia becomes insane when she links with Mac. No doubt about it. She's already a great character, but she becomes even better when she links with Mac. Like, significantly better. She's better than Mac if she links with Mac, is the thing. Because Mac can also use SMGs, so she basically just becomes a better Mac. Which is why the only thing I would change about Dahlia is make it so that no matter who she links with, her stats remain 3 speed, 3 toughness. Because the perks they've given her play into what her base stat total is, regardless of link. So I don't think her stats should change, because that not only makes her a more simple character, there's no like, oh, well, if I link with this person, what does my stat total become? You don't have to think about that. You just need to know what her base stat totals are, and how her perks play into it. So I think she'd become a much more balanced character if she remained a 3 speed, 3 toughness. That's all I'd change with Dahlia. Otherwise, she's a really, really good character. Dallas is fine. Deema's fine. Glitch, okay. I wouldn't change anything with Glitch, but I will mention this. I was thinking of a way to change Glitch, because I originally thought, why does Glitch still have padded steps when they've changed him from a stealth flanker hacker to a breacher hacker? Because that was how he used to be, with his hack radius and the fact that he could take it out even while it was still recharging. It made him a really effective intel flanker, right? He could sneak up on people with padded steps or just crouch walking, and use his device to get a general idea of where people were. Then when they released Glimpse, they wanted Glimpse to be more that character, right? Because she can cloak, and she can get behind people, really take them by surprise, reveal people using her tracker rounds. Or wait, does she still have tracker rounds? I think she does. Reveal people, essentially, and then go back into hiding, or continue the fight and be rewarded for it. So then they changed Glitch's hack to be universal, where no matter where people are on the map or where the gadgets are placed, it will hack them all the same. But in return, he can no longer take out his hacking device when it's recharging. So he became more of a universal hacker than a situational hacker. So with that in mind, I was thinking, okay, why does Glitch still have padded steps if he's not meant to be flanking anymore? It's because of his personality, I eventually realized. Glitch is an elusive hacker. It even says in the bio, one of the world's most notorious and elusive hackers. And Glitch, nobody knows who Glitch is. Glitch is the only person who knows who Glitch is. Nobody knows his name, nobody knows what he looks like, nobody knows where he came from. He's a very mysterious person. So, a mysterious and elusive person like that should have a sneak perk, which is why he has padded steps. And he used to have Cloaked as well, but Cloaked got removed from the game in the Covert Ops update, which is why he no longer has it. So, if he has to have a stealth perk, he has to have padded steps. So, you know, that makes sense. So, I don't think Glitch should be changed at all. Glimpse is really good, but I wouldn't change her. Kestrel, people severely underestimate her. She's actually a really good rogue. Lancer. Lancer is in dire need of a rework. Well, okay, not a rework, but like a major adjustment. So, okay, I need to work through this. So, get rid of Gunsmith and upgrade Energize to Legendary, but in return, nerf her ability's time from 55 seconds to 60 seconds, so that when she gets Legendary Energized, it becomes 45 seconds, which is just 1 second higher, or longer, sorry, than her ability currently is if she buys Epic Energized. That way, you give her a perk that belongs to her, Legendary Energized, she can use her ability more frequently. Awesome, that fits her. But it's the same, pretty much the same amount of time that you're waiting to get her ability, so it balances her out, where, like, she basically gets a legendary perk that doesn't really feel like one, but that's kind of just a way of balancing her, because I don't think Gunsmith belongs on Lancer, especially not legendary Gunsmith. She can have a 3-shot Arbitrator and dodge roll reload, a 12-shot skill 6 and dodge roll reload with extra range. That's nuts. Who thought of this? Silly idea. What else? Get rid of Epic Bounce Back, give her Epic Helping Hand. Her theme is speed, so she should be able to revive people faster. I think that makes sense. She used to have Helping Hand. It just makes sense. And then I think upgrade Stalker to Epic, and then give her Rare Evade. Because Lancer is actually not the fastest character in the game anymore. Both Kestrel and Glimpse can be as fast as Lancer in the right circumstances, which I think is ridiculous. Because if we look at Lancer's bio, she is a talented freerunner turned Olympian. So she is an Olympic sprinter. And yet she can be matched in speed by a cloaked character and a rich woman. Like, that's so silly, in my opinion. So I think if you give Lancer Rare Evade, she gets that. It fulfills that fantasy of being the fastest character in the game, the most fragile character in the game. But it doesn't feel so insanely fast like it did in the last update. Because in the last update, she could become a 13 speed. With Rare Evade, her maximum then becomes 9, because they nerfed her ultimate as well. So I think that fits Lancer. She should be the fastest character in the game, but not too fast. I think that's a good fit. And then Epic Stalker just fits with her character really well. Now you might be thinking, why would you give her Epic Stalker when she has shotguns? That just makes her even more crazy with shotguns. Even though you don't really aim down sights with shotguns, but you get what I'm trying to say. I would simply remove shotguns from Lancer. I think assault rifles would be a lot better on her, because not only would that make her less of a brain dead character, where she becomes more viable in other situations where she can flank from further back and kind of like hit some shots on people, get them thinking, oh crap, someone's behind me, but I can't see them because Lancer's so fast. And I don't know, someone with dodge roll reloads shouldn't have access to the Arbitrator or the skill 6, or even the S12 for that matter. Because, like, the shotgun problem only came in once Weapon Mastery became a thing. So, you think about that. You give assault rifles to Lancer, along with the perks I just mentioned. I think she becomes a lot more interesting, a lot more balanced, and just generally more fun to play because you have more options with her. So that's why and how I would change Lancer. That's something that I'm very passionate about. I've been thinking about that for a while. Phantom, the only thing I would change is to get rid of Helping Hand, because that makes no sense to her personality whatsoever. She is a kill-centric character, and her default skin's voice lines when she revives, one of them is literally, "This doesn't mean I like you." She does not care for people. She is not a people person. Why does she have Helping Hand? It makes no sense. Give her Rare Energized so her ability becomes more useful, because her ability is heavily underutilized, and it just feels underwhelming compared to every other ability in the game. So if you give her Rare Energized, she can at least use it more often and it becomes more useful. It makes more sense to her character. That's how I change Phantom. Otherwise, I think she's really great. Ronan's good. Runway is also good, but I wouldn't adjust these characters in any way. Sigrid, though. Oh, Sigrid. Okay. So, I like the perk layout. I think it really suits Sigrid. It's just the rarities that need adjusting. I would upgrade Nimble Hands to Epic, and in return nerf Tenacity. I would nerf Energized and buff Lifeline. I would buff Shredder Rounds and nerf Life Drain. That way, she becomes less of a tank and a better reviver. And, like, I'm sorry, why does she have Legendary Life Drain when she literally has stims? That doesn't, like, she never has to worry about health. Along with Epic Tenacity and Legendary Bulletproof, she never has to worry about health. Like, she's nuts. Like, Sigrid had a really nice balance of being a good attacker and healer before Covert Ops, but now they've really pushed her more to be of like an attacker more than a reviver. And the thing is, with Sigrid's bio, she used to be a first responder to terror attacks, and she left because they accepted too many losses. She cares about people, unlike a certain someone, who I will mention later. It just doesn't make sense for Sigrid to only have Rare Lifeline. She should have Epic Lifeline. And also, with her Riot Shield, she gets it back way too quickly already. She does not need Epic Energized. Make it rare so that it at least doesn't feel so ridiculously quick to come back. Nimble Hands, if you upgrade Nimble Hands, she can reload from her array of ammo faster, because again, Shredder Rounds actually still gives you extra base ammo to reload from. I know it doesn't say that in its perk description anymore, but it still does. So if she has Epic Nimble Hands, she becomes a better reloader, which makes her more versatile in situations where she can like quickly get behind cover, reload, get back into the fight. And she also used to have the equivalent of Epic Nimble Hands, so I don't think it's that crazy to think to give to her. So anyway, better Lifeline to make her better at reviving, better Nimble Hands to make her a better reloader, and in return nerf Energize and Tenacity. And then bring Shredder Rounds up to Legendary and bring Life Drain down to Epic, because again, she has stims. She does not need the best version of Life Drain. I'm keeping Legendary Bulletproof on her because she doesn't have armor, so I think Bulletproof is a nice substitute for that. But the combination of that and Tenacity is nuts. Nerf Tenacity so that that feels a little bit less bulky, but still bulky, reasonably. And then you also got to remember the Riot Shield is essentially another form of shield, right? So she has a lot going for her in terms of her bulkiness. If you nerf Life Drain, it's still really good. 40 health back to you, that's really good. And then if she wants to go back to full health, she can pop a stim, you know? And then, you know, she has to spend 9k on Shredder Rounds instead of 7,500, or whatever it is. 7,000, I think it is. So that to get that extra ammo to reload from, she has to spend more, and then Nimble Hands plays into that really well. I think that makes her a good balance of a support and a breacher, because that's what Sigrid is. She is meant to be a supporter breacher. I know she's called a breacher in her bio, but that's really what she is. She is a breacher supporter, so I think that's what her perk distribution should be like instead. Now, the person that I was mentioning before... Oh, actually, yeah, Switchblade first of all, before I go to the next person. I think it's really silly that she gets volatile, because with all the other characters in the game that get volatile, volatile has a really... like, it has a very noticeable effect. With Trench, he has Legendary Energized and Epic Volatile, so his barbed wire comes back quicker and he does more damage. So, because you're getting it back more frequently, you can see the damage increase more often, right? With Vi, she has the poison and the fire and epic energized, so her poison comes back more. It does more damage, and then her fire does so much damage, thanks to legendary volatile. And then you've got, who's the other character? Scorch. Her ability is affected by a volatile as well as her fire. So, like, with the other characters that have volatile, it feels a lot more noticeable and significant. Whereas with Switchblade, it's literally just her ultimate. Like, her ultimate is... And the thing is, she already has Legendary Blaster, right? So the rocket itself already does a lot of damage. I think it does 98 upon impact against the 2 toughness. So it's almost a one-shot on a 2 toughness with no shield or tenacity. So it's a really, really strong blast once you get Legendary Blaster. And then she has Volatile as well. I think they gave her Volatile because she doesn't get energized, so that when you use your ultimate, you want it to feel as powerful as possible. But the thing is, people who know how Switchblade's ult works know that once it gets shot, you need to get away because the fire is going to burst out afterwards. So Volatile doesn't really feel like it gets its effect shown very often. So personally, I would get Volatile off Switchblade and give her Nimble Hands instead, so that she can buy Berserker and Rare Nimble Hands as a sort of mini Quick Hands. It's cheaper than Quick Hands because it's not actually Quick Hands, because Epic Nimble Hands is what makes Quick Hands significant. So she has a version of Quick Hands, like a weaker version of Quick Hands, that she can use before she gets restock, which essentially negates the need for Berserker and Nimble Hands, because when you eliminate and down people, you get your ammo back. So I think that would make her more fluid in combat, being able to run while reloading and getting a slightly faster reload speed before she spends all that money on restock. I think it would just make her a more effective gunfighter. And that's why I think I would replace Volatile with Rare Nimble Hands. I think that would fit her a bit better. Talon. Remember how I said that there was a character who I didn't think should have Lifeline? It's this guy. He has epic Lifeline. For reference, Talon didn't used to have a revive perk at all, because funnily enough, that's not his personality. He's an ex-Yakuza. Why does he have a better version of Lifeline than Sigrid? A person whose sole purpose in life is to save innocents. I don't get it. It really just feels like an attempt at the devs to go, oh, we need to give Talon an expensive perk, let's just give him Lifeline. Like, I don't know, man, it just seems so silly. Also, Talon should not be a 5-speed 2 toughness when he has 25 armor and legendary tenacity. That's insane. So, nerf his speed to 4 instead of 5, so he feels a bit more balanced. And then get rid of Lifeline and give him... what was it again? It was Stalker. Yeah, Epic Stalker. That way, he doesn't feel as effective movement speed wise compared to Lancer, but he still feels good, and I think Stalker fits Talon better. He's a very talented gunman. He knows how to prioritize stuff. Like, he should be able to move quickly while he's aiming. So I feel like he should have Stalker instead of Lifeline. Who was the other character I wanted to change? Vi. That's right. Replace Resupply with Helping Hand. Why does the character with the most potent fire grenades in the game have the ability to restock them? That's insane. On top of what she already has, she's absolutely insane. There's no way. Like, oh my goodness, what were they thinking? Vi used to have Helping Hand for reference, so that's why I think she should get Rare Helping Hand. It's not as good as it used to be, but it's a nice cheap perk that helps her get people back up and brings back a bit of what she used to be. So I think that fits her a bit better, and also is just a nerf, because I mean, Vi should not have resupply. I'm sorry, that's ridiculous. High damage fires that can be resupplied, that's insane. No character should have resupply with fire grenades, that's nuts. So there you go, those are the rogue changes I want, but that's not the end of it. I also think Epic Stalker should cost 6k instead of 4k, because I think Stalker is heavily underrated and shouldn't be so cheap. Rare Stalker is fine because it's not very noticeable, so 2k is pretty good, but 6k I think is a more suitable price for Epic Stalker, because that way it's still cheaper than it used to be. It used to be 6,500 before covert ops happened, and because of the new economy, you get more money fast. You get more money for stuff, so I think that's a nicer way. That's a nicer way to balance Stalker, because I don't think you should be able to buy Epic Stalker and a primary weapon in the same purchase at the start of a game. I think that's a bit ridiculous, personally. So that's how I changed Stalker. There was one other perk that I wanted to change the pricing of, but I'm trying to remember what it was. Tenacity. So Rare Tenacity still costs 4k. The reason it costs 4k is because when it was first introduced in Covert Ops, Rare Tenacity used to only negate melee and explosive damage by, I think, 15%, which, okay, that's a reasonable price. But when they buffed Rare and Epic Tenacity up, and Epic Tenacity became 40 and Rare became 30, they didn't increase the price. So, in my opinion, they should adjust the prices of the Tenacity rarities so that Rare costs 6,000, Epic costs 9,000, and Legendary costs 12,000. So Legendary Tenacity isn't touched, but Rare and Epic become more expensive. I think that's a nicer way to balance those perks, because I don't think you should be able to buy Rare Tenacity right off the bat with a primary weapon. I think that's ridiculous considering what you get for it. For 4k, it's so effective. So those are just some like price changes that I think would fit the game a bit better. But yeah, that concludes this video. I just wanted to talk about all the rogue changes I'd like to see in this game. Let me know what you guys think. Yeah, I really think the characters would feel more balanced overall if these changes were implemented. So yeah, that concludes the video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, as always. And as always, sorry about that, I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!